welcome back to the Next Question Please podcast.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a long ass minute, but we're back. We're back and better than ever.
That's false. No, but we're here to just try to get something out, and we'll do the best we can.
We'll be much more organized in the first episode.
Some of us are not as active in terms of. I'm tired as fuck, so.
I just got out of a nap.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
All right. What's new? How was spring break?
It was pretty dull. I'm at home. I don't have a girl or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I really do either, but it was still very busy for me.
So what do you do then?
Built a deck, made sausage, hung out with friends, went to bars.
Yeah, I didn't do shit then. What about you, Mel?
I had some events, Austin, Texas. Not too bad.
Did you go out?
I did go out. Yeah.
Oh,
Coronavirus. Bars were packed. Bartenders were attractive. Every last one of them. Yeah, it was a good time. So, all right. So this is where we're gonna segue, right? So I met this girl while I was at one of the bars down in Texas. She was a journalist, right?
Uh-oh.
Fake news.
Oh, no.
So, we're chopping it up, yada, yada, yada. But then I noticed that I'm so fucking terrible at small talk, right? So I kept getting...
Not the best idea to do a podcast.
Huh?
Not the best idea to do a podcast.
No, when it comes to, I think in that situation, right?
Okay.
So music is loud, I kept asking in-depthful questions, but that's not what you want to do in that situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was terrible at seguing into not in just generic questions, but something that wasn't so deep. You know what I mean? So it's how do you approach girls? How do you talk to girls? Do you take an approach of you ask them in-depth questions, or do you kind of keep it light? Especially when it comes to flirting, how do you do that? What do you think?
Well, first of all, I'm not good at flirting, but I do like to talk deeper than the normal person, just because it's just easier just to talk about deep shit,
Right.
And if you want to get to know the person more, you have to talk about deep shit. Problem is, when you're at the bar and you're just chilling with your buddies, do you really want to talk about deep shit?
Exactly. You don't want to, but that's where it got fucked.
But that's just me.
Yeah. What about you?
Apparently Tyler says otherwise.
I mean, first off, your first problem is you're talking to a girl in the bar that's loud. You can't hear her anyway. She can't hear you.
Right.
One, also, they're down in Austin, Texas.
Correct.
When you're coming back up to North Dakota in a matter of days.
Right.
I'm not quite sure you want to get into deep stuff right away, or even talk to her, or even worry about women at that point.
True. I guess I could elaborate
That's actually
a
a fair
more.
point.
Fair enough. But when I say deep, I mean she told me she was a journalist. So I asked her, what is it about journalism that drew you to it? Or what is the hardest thing about journalism? Or how do you try to stay objective in journalism? I'll start asking her questions like that.
I don't think that's very deep. That's just a good question.
See, but I don't know how
that she can talk about herself.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it's is that okay? I don't, because,
I mean,
because, it just seemed like
it should be an open-ended question.
I feel like that shouldn't be a conversation you have on a dance floor in a bar,
Probably not on a dance floor.
See, that's what I'm saying. So what can you say to fill in that time until you can actually maybe get her number and maybe take her on a date, or maybe, set something up in a group activity? What do you say in the meantime? That's what I'm wondering.
What's your name? What's your favorite color? Where are you from? How you doing?
Check. Okay. So but that's it. You just okay. You just go through the getting to know her, her name, what does she do? Like, okay, well, can I get your number? Can I get your Snapchat?
So,
and do you just dip?
I think
You can't just dip at that point.
I would say like think about it like how you're reading like someone's profile. So you have your name, how old are you? You know, if they're between ages 18 to 24, usually they're in college or grad school or whatever the fuck. And then usually you ask them, okay, what are you studying? And then they tell you what you're studying, and then you reciprocate. And then after that, then you're like, okay, so what are your interests? And basically that's where you're like, okay, I like this, or I like this part of that. And then that's where you kind of like gain a common ground per se. And then you talk about the common ground, and then you can be like, okay, you know, it was nice talking to you. You know, Snap, email, phone number, something like that. Whatever.
Email. That's like worse thing. That's like asking for MySpace. Show MySpace, shorty.
Pretty much that's how you should approach it. It's not
okay.
You shouldn't think about it too much. But I guess on like this, maybe on like the fourth day, then you can talk about deep stuff.
Because when I was asking her these questions, she's like, "Oh, damn, you're asking me some deep shit," and I was like, I'm genuinely interested, even though I wasn't. But but you know,
that's where guys fail. They don't care about what the fuck you.
See, okay, I was interested in some of it, like some of the journalism, but then it was like I was asking some questions just to keep the conversation going, so it wasn't like an awkward silence, you know? So it was like questions that I haven't even like really processed, like, maybe I want to know that. It was kind of just like, that's the next thing that popped in my head. Let me ask this to fill in that awkward silence. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Right. Yeah, so that was my experience with this journalist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was chill. Yeah.
You get her Snap?
No, I didn't get her Snap. I dipped.
Because you're coming back up the north.
I didn't want to wake up. I didn't want to wake up with a blog about me, you know. Or oh boy.
Met a man at the bar. Never again.
This is why guys are trash. They talk to you and then you just leave.
It's on the fucking front page of like Cosmopolitan.
I think we're getting away from like not being able to banter properly with the strangers, especially with the pandemic.
Okay.
I can't for the life of God just like go up to a stranger and this is gonna be at a chill bar and then just talk to them like a normal person. I feel like I need to know them a little bit.
So define banter for everyone who doesn't know what banter is.
Well, you do it really well. So banter is essentially you can talk about pretty much anything. Like let's say the game is on and you're focusing on the game. Like let's say the Vikings and the Saints are playing, right? And the Vikings are down 17-24 and you're just intensely just watching the game. And all of a sudden, like, the guy like right by you is just also watching the game. But you guys are both, instead of like you guys both intensely focusing, one of you guys are supposed to like, talk to each other and be like, yo, the Saints are about to win this game or the Vikings are about to win this game. And that's how it just starts. You can just say any shit. You can be like, the Saints suck. Drew Brees is terrible. Like he says some racist stuff. I don't know, whatever. But the point is banter. You just try to basically create some sort of friendship along with it.
So basically, just a banter is jokingly like. How do you say this? Because it's not hurtful, but
it can
having a conversation in a friendly manner with a complete stranger.
But banter is like you're making fun, like are you poking fun at them?
Yeah.
But it's in
it shouldn't be taken in an offensive way.
Yeah, it's in an endearing way.
Problem is, a lot of people are taking things in an offensive way.
See, because I don't think many people understand banter, so they take it as like, oh, this person's insulting me or this person's trying to shit on me.
Mm.
Particularly women.
Mm.
Women don't take banter well. Women don't like banter, dude.
Yeah,
and it's bad. It's really bad because you feel like, especially if you're someone who engages in banter often, like especially with your guy friends, you're like poking fun at each other. So you like accidentally do that on a woman, and she feels like genuinely insulted by that. So you're just kind of walking back from who you want to be in that conversation. So then there's like less for you to say, especially if you use banter a lot, or you use like sarcasm or humor that way, like that kind of manner of humor, it becomes harder to engage with women because you don't know if can I joke with them like this, and if I do joke with them like this, it's going to set them off. And it's like, if it does set them off, then okay, so what can I do differently in a conversation with women that I still seem interesting to them, and I'm also trying to stay true to myself, but also be entertaining and someone they want to hang around with, So it's interesting. Like, how do you feel women take banter?
Most of the women I talk to take banter just fine.
Okay.
Somehow I find those. Okay. You got to know who you're talking to, though.
Fair enough.
Well, how long have you known the person?
I feel like it might be slightly different in especially a small town where you're from.
Well, I feel like people here are just more mentally tough than people from the cities or suburbia, especially when they go to like public school, and so many opinions are thrown across the room, and some people just can't take it, and some people just are like, it's not the end of the world, like there are other things that we need to worry about.
Right.
But in the cities, holy mother of God, like, okay, here's the thing. I'm Asian, specifically Indian. Okay. Y'all know that, obviously.
Respect.
Stop Asian hate. No. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, Indian people, they get offended very easily.
Okay.
Easily, without this. I guess it depends on the person, but the majority of people that are Indian, they get offended very easily. They're most of them are very liberal. They're obviously smart, and and they like to talk a lot, but at the same time, they don't like to talk about stuff that they don't know about, and they don't really like to learn all that much. They just kind of like to get triggered very easy and then just start snowballing into some emotional breakdown. I only know a couple people that can actually handle conversation like that, and some of them, they like to take like low blows and make it personal on you too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember I'm talking to someone, a friend, and she's just like, she references my North Dakota, me being in North Dakota a lot, and I'm just like, well, what does that have anything to do with what we're talking about? Just because, like, okay, my friend likes to, he has a Trump flag or whatever, he shoots guns, like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, he's a good person, so why do you have to label him like that? Like, and then, they get all offended. It's like, Trump racism and something. It's like, okay, so what? You still should treat other people with respect. Like, you shouldn't fucking bash people just because of something that's so minuscule. And that's the problem. They associate things that they're offensive about to like something very, very mainstream. And that's why we can't have banter. Like, they just associate stuff to you, and then they try to in their mind cancel you.
So you think it's just a product of like what's going on right now in society?
100%.
Okay. So
without a shadow of a doubt,
with the manipulation of social media is basically what you're saying. The media in general, it makes banter impossible to engage in human interactions, especially in big cities.
Yeah, because like I know plenty of friends that lost a lot of friends because like they're very Trump supporting, but they're still the same person, right?
Yeah.
So like nothing's really changed except for like who they're voting for or who they like.
No, I mean, if any of you guys watched the last presidential debate, I mean, heck, all they did was bash each other.
Yeah.
I mean, your news stations, all they're doing is bashing each other between CNN, Fox, those type of things. The world is just bashing each other instead of being friendly and joking around. That I think that's where people are taking it.
Even they can't banter properly. Isn't that weird?
They don't banter at all. Yeah, they just insult.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they're getting paid to do or whatever. But as citizens,
but sadly, they're getting paid to do that because all they're doing is destroying
America.
In itself.
See, I'm starting to think I come off as an asshole.
Really? Wow.
particularly to women,
Oh.
because of banter, right? So it's like they take it as like me, like being an asshole, right? But it's like
We're gonna have a poll here, so on our Instagram. So we're gonna set up a poll and be like, "Is this man an asshole because women can't banter with him?" It'll be a yes or no. So we'll put that.
You know, it's I don't know. When it comes to,
give us an example.
I don't think we're ready for examples quite yet. You know, because I got to work on myself. You know?
Fair enough. Tyler's like, really?
Oh,
I mean,
man.
it's a good thing you're working on yourself. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
We can always work to be the better person.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. It's a tough time out there for us guys.
I mean, I'm not denying that.
So banter aside, how do you're approaching a woman, right? Say it's social media, say it's the bar, say it's a coffee shop. What do you do to make yourself seem interesting or entertaining?
Ooh, I make her laugh.
Yeah, how?
Well, just by being me.
Okay. All right. So black, 6'4", okay, basketball fan. Right.
Wacky hair. You can always
For sure.
do something. You got to have your own strengths and weaknesses. I can bring up my own, but that's not going to relate to you or you or you.
Right. Okay. What about you?
I'm not. I'm a work in progress.
This is under construction.
And we're beginning construction. We're not even like in the middle.
We're still drawing blueprints at this point.
I don't even think the blueprints are even out. We're trying to find the utensils.
What are we even building here?
Exactly.
Do we even have the right zoning things? Do we still have to go to the county commission?
We're in development.
Right, is this shit dark matter or something? Like,
what?
Is it dark matter? Are we gonna find it?
Way to re-drill
I
it?
don't know.
Drilling for size comedy?
I don't know, but
Nobody knows.
but pretty much like so recently like I had to approach 5 women at the bar. I approached 4.
You did
Yeah.
3.
Not approached 4. You approached 3.
3.
No,
It was
You did?
3.
it was the one at. They were all they're blacks.
It was 3.
It was 3. I remember.
Was it 3?
Yeah, it was 3.
Okay, well, whatever. 3 out of 5. 60%.
Uh-huh.
Barely passing.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so first girl. So our friend Joel, he's just like, you know what?
Ah, yes.
He gave me a line. I used that line. The problem is,
What was that line? You remember?
something about I'm in your class or something. I recognize you from one of my classes or something.
Okay.
So I was
Even
like,
if she wasn't in one of your classes and you're completely pulling this out of your ass.
okay, yeah. So basically, I'm pulling this out of my ass, like the rabbit out of the hat, right? Okay. Anyways, the problem was we were going good. Like I introduced myself, she introduced herself. Like we talked about major and all that stuff, and all of a sudden, like it was chill. Like I wasn't creeping her out, and I whatever, and it was all right for like the first 45 seconds, and so after like 8 seconds, usually the girl would probably reject you or not, right? That's kind of like
That's fair.
psychology, right? So 45 seconds, I'm guessing this is my time frame, 45 seconds. And then her friend fucking pulls her away.
Okay.
So it's not like I failed, it's more like her friend just was like, nah.
Drunken.
So what happened after the friend pulled her away? Did it just end after that?
Yeah, I just told her, have a nice day,
Ended on good terms.
Yeah.
The journalist can't, write something bad in her blog.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I wasn't taking no L's that night.
And then there was another girl. I think I went to get drinks, but then I saw this girl and I just introduced myself. And then obviously like 8 seconds, right? So that didn't go anywhere.
No.
Because like, that's why I just kind of like, that's what everyone should go by, to be quite honest. And then
The volleyball or the tennis player.
tennis player.
I was standing next to you for that one.
I mean,
You tried pulling the same line, like the
No,
class
but I
stuff?
actually did recognize her.
Correct.
But the problem is she had a boyfriend, so I can't really do anything about that.
No.
Do you think when you're meeting women, does it vary on like situation? So, for example,
Yeah, results vary.
no, but I'm
Results
saying, for
vary.
example, like I'm more funny around women if they've met me in a social gathering, like in a group setting, rather than me just introducing myself individually.
I think just introducing yourself is, first of all, it's a change in pace for them, so they probably don't really know how to react
See,
properly.
Yeah, true.
Versus like if they kind of know you a little bit.
See, but what I mean by that is like there's something drastically different that I do in a group setting when I'm meeting women in a group setting than I do individually. And I don't know how to combine those things to make the experience that much better.
What do you mean you have to combine them?
Like, so when
His strengths in a group setting.
yeah, and then my strengths in an individual setting.
Correct.
So, and
Bringing them
like
together, they get the mighty morphing power.
like my strengths in an individual setting is I ask them depthful questions. I show interest in what they're talking about and what their hobby is or what they're doing. I show interest in that, right? But then I feel like I don't follow that up with enough like interesting aspects of my character in that conversation. But in a group setting, I'm showing all of my personality. I'm being funny, I'm doing everything with the groups. But then I'm never like doing anything one-on-one with them because I feel like it's just.
Do you think you're just not? Because you're a funny dude. Do you think you're just not trying to pull that out?
No, I don't know.
Because like
I don't know.
in a deep conversation, you can never be funny.
See,
Unless
I feel
it's
like
self-deprecating.
See, I feel like I don't know how to segue.
Bingo.
I don't know how to segue from like asking them depthful questions and like throw like a one-liner in there to like change the topic and make it funny again so I can show my personality. I don't know how to do that. That's the problem. That's why I come back like full circle to like the small talk shit. So yeah, it varies on situation, I think, based on like group and individual settings. Like, do you feel like both of you, do you feel like you like interact differently with women when you're alone with them, like alone one-on-one talking, or like in a group setting when you're just meeting them?
No.
Purely off first impressions.
Tyler never changes his personality. Not even once.
Exactly.
Not even 1%.
That's
Respect.
which I mean, women should want to respect that because it's like at least I'm not two-faced.
Fair.
Also, you respect yourself by not
Exactly.
even changing.
Yeah.
So it's like a double win.
Well, because I definitely don't want to like show a different me who's not me to a gal who I'm fairly interested in, because one day they're gonna meet the real me and then be like, "Whoa, what the hell just happened?"
That's a big problem in today.
But the problem is, women do that a lot.
But you don't have to stoop
More
to their
often.
level. Stick
No,
to
no,
yourself.
No, but what I'm saying is, if you
No, they do it too.
If you fall for a woman that's like giving the first impression, right? Like you think of that first impression first, and then 6 months later, like let's say you're dating or whatever, and she completely morphs into some demon. I'm like, yo, what happened to level 1 here?
Right.
This is not even close. Like, y'all are catfishing me.
Welcome to dating.
This is why I don't date.
Fair enough.
Dating isn't indeed trying to figure out what the other person is about.
Also, the thing for you, I think it's just like, you just need to. I think you just feel like there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
It just seems like you're just overthinking everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I do.
I mean, like everyone does it, but it's just like you don't. This is just a person at the end of
Just
the day.
don't think. You can't make everybody happy.
Yeah. Like
fair enough.
the sun will go down, but the sun will also come up for the next day.
The sun comes out tomorrow.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
yeah,
like,
okay.
you don't need to put so much emphasis on this person. Don't put him on the fucking pedestal.
Yeah, I'm
Put
bad
him on
at
a
that.
kicking tee.
Oh, okay. All right. Happy Gilmore is that song?
No, that's a golf tee.
Oh, you said a who?
A kicking tee.
A kicking team.
Like on kickoff in football.
I didn't know that. Okay. Why did you say golf tee? It would make the Happy Gilmore joke that much funnier, man. Funnier.
He's got a point. Kicking tees are, you don't put golf balls on kicking tees.
No, but you put footballs on kicking tees and then you drop kick them.
Yeah.
But there's no Happy Gilmore there. All right, it doesn't matter. So,
anyways, so you just gotta, okay, in terms of like no thinking, you have to think a little bit.
Of course.
Like you have to just kind of like, you have to like count down a little bit and be like, you know what? Okay, let's go.
Right.
You gotta be a man. You gotta be confident in yourself. And that's what Tyler does. Like he's confident in his personality and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And pretty much like he's a man in his own word. And for what we need to work on, or a lot of people that need to work on, or who are watching that needs to work on, just be confident. Like you can fake it a little bit. You can fake it till you make it. But at the same time, you just need to be confident. Say what you want to say. If you have a funny joke, just say it. If it doesn't work, okay. If you think it's funny, that's all that matters, right? You're just having a good time. That's the point.
That literally happened to me on Friday, going on a road trip with that gal. Made a joke, right? I thought it was funny. She just turns to me and didn't laugh. And I'm like, well, it looks like I'll stop making jokes today then. Got her to laugh after saying a horrible joke. God knows what it was. I have them all.
yeah.
Like the more you put yourself out there, like your true self or whoever your self is right now, just go for it. Like if they don't like you, then okay. There's
just got
plenty of other people left in the world.
Next. Yeah.
And plus, like you said, like you weren't gonna meet her ever again, so it's like, who cares?
Yeah, at that point, could have been practice. Could have just been meeting.
Yeah. See, after a while I was down there, I just started getting a little more and more confident with each interaction. So I'm at this bar, and I see this like super, super attractive girl. I'm like, okay, I'm talking to my brother. I'm like, yo, I gotta go talk to her. She's like, yeah, just do it. So then like she's walking over and I'm like, okay, what can I say to grab her attention, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna say like, I couldn't let you pass without like getting your name, right? Smooth. I'm thinking this is smooth as fuck. So, I'm like, hey, how you doing? Like, I just couldn't let you pass without getting your name. And she like turns around, like it's smooth how she turns around, and then she like sticks her hand out, and then she goes. And I was like, okay, she's drunk. I'm out of here. Peace.
That is also indeed the problem about meeting women at bars. Absolutely. They may not be there.
Huh?
The women at bars may not be there because they're drunk.
She was obliterated, but confidence is everything.
It really is.
Confidence is key.
But it's like, what can you say to someone who struggles with confidence? Like, what would you say? Like something that you can give them. They'd be like, okay, you struggle with confidence. This is what you should do first to start your way onto building that confidence.
Just know that the other person also may have embarrassing things that he or she does not want anybody to know. Because that's like one thing people, and I feel like when I was in high school, when I wasn't confident that, they know all this about me. Well, that other person also has things they probably don't want people knowing about.
So kind of like see them how you view yourself in a way,
Yeah.
So that,
they're
like
also human beings. Like, because I know a lot of people when I was in high school, their lack of confidence was because of other people's confidence.
Gotcha.
You understand where I'm going with this?
But a lot of that is false confidence, even from the other people that they
correct.
Right?
But they just gave off this persona of confidence, even if they didn't feel confident in themselves.
But the problem is, like, when you're at bars, like, here's the thing: women know how to mask their. If they have no confidence, they can easily mask it with like just how they look. Because like you know how everyone says women are dressing up like this or whatever. Fam, it takes a lot of confidence just to dress up like that, and then confidence just to look like that. So it's just like it's obviously intimidating enough for her to see this like beautiful woman, and she can dress up like this, and she's very confident in herself or whatever she's feeling herself.
Even a gal who looks, in her words, homeless, going out to a bar. Sweatpants, sweatshirt, tennis shoes. That also takes a lot of confidence because you think the normality of going out the bars for women is to be all high and fancy and yada yada yada. However, but if a girl shows up sweatpants, old sweatshirt.
You're kind of like who's that chick? Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's interesting that she came downtown with sweats on.
Like people are
Well-
definitely going to be some women are definitely going to be judging her because I mean
Yeah,
women
for
are
sure.
very judgmental in that way, and she's definitely got to have confidence. Kind of like me wearing cowboy hats downtown.
Takes a lot of confidence.
Takes confidence. I really don't care.
Takes balls of steel.
Yeah. So you just have to like mentally just not
Care.
You have to try to like strip all of like the just the beauty of the woman and just kind of just like go kind of like you just have to have like a mindset of just like, you know what, let's just talk.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about just you have to go and talk. You have to be a man and you have to go and talk.
I'll be interested to see how we all progress throughout this podcast, especially with things like, I mean, your confidence, you know, is peaking, you know. Right on, brother. But see, I would like to see how we
it's
all
like this in terms of confidence. So we're right there.
Strongest to weakest.
So we're pretty much like right there.
I feel like that's
is
slightly
confidence.
racist, but we're not gonna move on. We're gonna move on. No.
It's not racist. It's more like, you know, it is what it is right now.
We're all human beings here
But I want to see
It
how
could
we
with
change.
different skin color.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
nothing.
Different races, different skin color.
Absolutely.
We're all humans. We all bleed blue.
We're all part of the human race.
Yeah.
Because that's the only race I run.
But I wanna see how-
laughing.
I want to see how we grow in every aspect that we talk about and try to improve and see, you know, share the things that we learn along the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what things for confidence worked, what steps did we take to take that next step in our confidence and our security, self-security, you know, and just life in general. So it'll be interesting to see how we grow when we watch this podcast back.
I'm gonna say I think
Sometime.
my weakness when it comes to terms of confidence is like, okay, gal likes you, I like her. Obviously, you're into each other. How do I take it from here to here?
Okay.
Because now between here and here, and this gap for me is insecurity.
Okay. So it's like
So it's like the fear of rejection, and in terms of like, am I good enough?
Am I good enough?
So you're already here. Here's what you're doing already. You're already putting her above you.
Yeah.
You're not even like leveling.
Like I'm confident with myself,
Yeah.
Right.
and I gave that persona to her,
But it's like
and I got her interested.
Right.
But now,
But it's like you have to let go of some of that confidence to actually solidify the relationship.
correct.
Well,
Which that's
'Cause
scary.
that's scary because everybody keeps saying a woman does not like a man who has weakness.
no, well,
So you're trying not to show your weaknesses,
Right.
but yet if you're going to get into a relationship with a person, they're going to find out about your weaknesses. So you got to let it go, but that is scary.
Yeah.
That's scary.
well, I think in terms of where you are, you have to get to a point in your mind where you have to be like, if whatever X happens, like I'm still me. I'm chilling. Like,
Right.
you know, I'm not. If she is not there by my side, okay, that's fine. That's where you have, like the mindset has to be.
So I guess I'm going to bring up the situation I'm in right now and explain the situation for the folks playing along at home. Yes, that's funny. Yes, I got that from a different person. So, talking to a gal, we both said we're interested in each other. We live 3.5 hours away from each other, though. We met in person at work. But now when college came, you know, we are apart. We are talking, snapping, FaceTiming, and we have came to the conclusion that we're both interested in each other. But she says she wants to hang out before anything becomes official. We now hang out over spring break, but we really don't discuss where we are moving on from there. And that's what I'm scared about because she says she wants to hang out. We hung out once all day over spring break, didn't discuss where we're going, but now I'm afraid of discussing where we're going because I'm worried I may be pushing a boundary. Because she said she wanted to wait to hang out a little bit in person, which I had no problem with whatsoever. But now we hung out. She left my place and we didn't discuss where we're going from there. And now I want to discuss it, but now inside I'm like, am I pushing a boundary? Because she said she wanted to wait. Was once good enough? Was once not good enough? Once for 12 hours, you know, all day. Was that good enough for her? I guess in like talking to friends, they're like, well, what was the vibe when y'all were hanging out? That also plays a big factor, but the insecurities kick in like, oh, I think she was interested, but am I crazy?
Right. And I think in your situation, it would have been a little easier to take that next step if y'all lived closer to each other.
No, for sure.
Because instead of asking like, hey, what are we after, you know, hanging out one time, you can be like, hey, like I had a great time hanging out with you.
Yeah.
Like,
and we
wanna
did
do it
discuss that.
Mhm.
And we all, the thing is, we have stuff planned to do. Road trips, more road trips, swing dancing, movie nights, fishing, because she's a fisherwoman, if we want to be genderly correct, if you will. You know, stuff like that. And we want to hang out all this time. Now, say we would have been in the situation of she said she doesn't like me and just wants to be friends, which honestly I'm always okay with. I don't mind rejection in that instinct. Like we already found out earlier in the month that she's interested in me. And now just thinking ahead towards the future that we're going to be hanging out more and more once we get back to our hometowns and are back to work with each other, and we'll be seeing each other on the daily, weekly, definitely bi-hourly.
Mhm.
And if we're going to be hanging out dang near every, you know, couple days, doing stuff together,
Right.
like I had just said, I kind of want to be in a relationship at that point, knowing she has feelings for me, or is at least interested in me. In her words, I obviously like you, type of thing. You know, luckily this gal is like super chill and you can probably talk to her about anything.
Wait,
You
so
know.
she already established that? She said that she always likes you? And
Yeah,
all?
her words were, I obviously like you, and I thought I made that obvious. I'm like, well, I'm insecure at some points, and thank you for telling me, because now I'm for sure.
Well, in that case, then, like, I think the problem is, okay, once there's a gray area between, you know, you say, like, you know, there's obviously something here to the first kiss or the first thing. So until you guys get to that point of the first kiss, then that's like you don't need to be a girlfriend or boyfriend before the first kiss, but you just have to establish that connection first.
Right.
And then that kind of,
or even
that,
just
that
saying
first
you're
kiss kind of
dating
like
before even, because
yeah,
because her and I are both old-fashioned in the ways of just because you're dating doesn't mean she's your girlfriend.
exactly.
Still got to ask her to be your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Which
That's 100% true.
Which
Well, that's how I
in my experience, that took a couple of weeks.
I mean, that took like at least a month.
Yeah, I say it only took me a couple of weeks.
So
well, my last girlfriend, her and I were together every day. So unlike this, where when you're 3.5 hours away, you know, I can't go back to her place or back to, you know, her home city every weekend, every day. Could we just say, if I would go to ask her, what are we? And she's like, you know, I like you. You know, can I say, you know, can we start dating? You know, can these times we're hanging out be considered dates at this point? That's the gray area for me.
I think you just hang out a bit more.
You think so?
Yeah, hang out. Just have fun with it right now. Just hang out. And
I would say go on.
I don't think you need to
establish something.
Yeah, you don't need to establish anything just yet. Just have fun with it right now.
Yeah.
And then, you know, if it establishes by itself,
because
that's even better.
The way it's trending right now, it seems that, like, you know, it's not like she's gonna take a step back anytime soon.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so you know, so you can take it nice and slow. You don't have to, you know, stress yourself out about it, because
that's fair.
Because I mean, y'all clearly talk every day. You know, y'all have constant communication. Y'all had a great time together when y'all were, you know, when y'all had that time together. So, you know, just see how it grows. Like 1 or 2 more times, and then you're still, after like 2 or 3 more times hanging out, you're still kind of like, I don't know if I should like consider these dates or ask her about that. That's when it's kind of like, okay, maybe I should start addressing that at that point. You know.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely 2 or 3 more times.
So do you think she'll address it or should I address it? Because it was her who said, I want to hang out more before.
I think you have to take the initiative.
Yeah, I think you're
Okay.
definitely gonna have to.
Because,
take
like,
initiative.
I mean, I'm not trying to be old-fashioned here, but
I mean, the
man's gotta
man,
be-
yeah, and the man's
man-
gotta be the man.
and here's the thing, like women like when a man takes initiative,
Right.
and in a good way, where like good vibes and all that stuff. You don't want the woman to be the man, and then have that be like your foundation,
Right.
Or like whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
you have to be the man, and you have to have full confidence,
Yeah.
full send,
Mhm.
and then just go for it. Like
Okay.
you don't like she kind of already gave you the opening a little bit.
Yeah.
Women like a man.
She
with
opened the door
initiative.
for you. Now you have to walk in and
Slam it.
Women like a man with initiative, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, I'm a very fucking decisive man.
I feel that myself.
So
I'm definitely very indecisive.
dude, it's bad, man. It's bad. So it's like,
Being a masculine man right now in 2021.
see, but I don't know if you can.
it's-
I don't know if you
it's-
can
it-
associate like
it's
indecisiveness with
Masculinity.
emasculating. Yeah, you know,
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
Really?
You can a little bit.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's a correlation to that.
like so if you're indecisive, that makes you less manly. You think?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I don't. Okay, so why do you say that? Explain.
Women like when a man takes charge. And
Right.
I'm not trying to be old fashioned, but that's just how it works.
Go on.
Some women, I wouldn't.
Fine, I'm
say
not
all women.
okay. I'm not gonna say all women, but every relationship has its own quirks and whatever.
Correct.
But the majority of the time, a man has to be a man and has to. So let's just say this is a classic example. Y'all want to get something to eat.
Okay.
Playing TikToks where you're like,
That's
oh,
tough,
what do you
man.
want to eat? I don't know.
Oh, don't care. You
Yeah.
choose.
Yeah, exactly.
You choose. No, I really want to
No.
go
See
there.
that part, you're giving the woman the power, right?
Yeah.
And if she doesn't fucking know, now as a man, you gotta take initiative and be like, okay, you know what? Since
We're definitely doing a poll on that too. Is
But-
indecisiveness emasculating?
Okay. But
it
okay.
is.
Okay. So you ask her, okay, where do you want to go? And she goes, I don't know. You choose. So you choose, and she goes, no, I don't want to go there.
The big
Okay.
question, just be like, well,
So then
we're gonna go
but then-
there.
do you have
unless-
multiple options ready? You know, it's like, okay, she rejects that
Of
one.
course, you have multiple
Wow.
options.
See, I don't understand. I don't see the correlation between that and masculinity, right?
No.
Because it's like what do you
That no.
Yeah, because
but
like what do you
taking-
consider masculinity at that point?
Taking
Because
charge.
Yeah,
but in that instance, you are a team. This is no longer a dictatorship.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying like a dictatorship, but
No,
I'm just saying
right.
like it's more attractive for a man to be,
okay,
confident.
Fidel Castro, I see you.
Shut the fuck up.
Stalin. stressed them.
You have to basically you just have to know what you want, and you obviously have to do it for the best of both of you, and that's what you're taking into account. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to say be a dictator to your wife or girlfriend or whoever the fuck you're dating.
Right.
No,
All right,
I'm just
Vladimir
saying. I'm just. Yeah, I'm Asian. At least say Asian dictators. But anyways, just take charge, and you gotta make sure that you know what you're talking about, and also you know the best choice. That's the point.
That or you just say, guess we're going to go to dinner. And the first thing she says, you say, absolutely.
But I would definitely say women are attractive to decisiveness, but I don't know if that's and being indecisive is not masculine. I don't know. I have to do some research on that. But
yeah, you do your research.
I mean, it's it happens. There's a lot of things that
We all play the game in different styles.
facts.
Yeah, of course.
We're all
Like,
gonna
sure.
come together to talk about those styles to offer different perspectives.
I mean, you don't just watch
We
film
got
with
one
team.
dictator's perspective, and then you got normal male perspective.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay. Anyways, we're talking about indecisiveness,
Yes.
correlation to masculinity.
yes,
Masculinity.
correlation to that. Yeah. So we're gonna.
But indecisive is one trait. I'm not saying this is if you're only indecisive, you're less of a man. I'm saying this is part of it.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So being indecisive makes you less a little bit of a man. If you're more decisive. That's why like fucking you can I know this is not a good example, but like movies, like Captain America, Iron Man, are they ever indecisive? No. They're like they sometimes they don't know what the fuck to do, but at the same time like they go to work, they try to
Okay.
figure it out.
I see what you're saying.
Problem
I see what
solved.
you're saying there. So definitely having a poll. We should definitely get some female perspectives in here too.
Yeah, people like God, I can't say female, can I?
Yeah, you can.
Woman,
I feel like you can say female unless
ladies.
Unless it's like in a like derogatory term, you know, it's like
no. Here's the thing: at the University of Minnesota,
There you go.
they get offended if you say female.
Female. Yeah.
So, and I've definitely been a part of that where I get like blasted back to Kingdom Come.
okay.
So
Allegedly,
well, I mean,
I know.
So
Remember, cities,
the non-males
cities get offended easily. Where I'm from, we don't get offended.
fair enough.
at all.
Okay.
the non-males, I don't know. Whatever.
Ladies.
Women that like to participate in the poll. Hopefully, you can give us a bit more feedback. And
Masculinity to indecisiveness. Ladies, females,
look, we're in a different society at this point.
Fair enough.
and none of
I
us know
can't-
how to react in it.
Yeah.
Nope,
So
not yet.
so
We're still figuring this shit out.
yeah, take the poll, guys. We would appreciate it.
Please.
We'll get the poll up just as soon as we get our video out.
2 years later.
That's what
Nah,
I'm
man.
saying.
No. So we got some growing to do. We're gonna learn. We're gonna learn a lot in this process. Gonna do some
I
research.
feel like that's life in itself is learning.
Yeah, that's definitely a fact.
If you don't learn
Or
every
if you
single
don't
day,
want to learn, you're not.
you're pretty much dead.
I mean, I always feel like to be a good person, you got to be well-rounded. And the only way to be well-rounded is to learn. If you don't want to learn, you can't be well-rounded. You can't be a good person.
Exactly. Problem is, some people like to be too well-rounded to where like they need to be an activist about every single goddamn issue.
This is indeed true.
But you know what? That's for another day.
Sides.
That's another day.
That is indeed another day.
Um,
We live to pay another day.
so, anyways,
Yeah.
Anything else on the list of topics for this evening?
I don't think we need to. We had a pretty good discussion, I would say. But yeah, we discussed a lot of things. A lot of open-ended things that the viewers can obviously tell us. No, this is wrong. Sai, you're a dictator. Tyler, you're a bro. And Mill, like obviously, like we're all in the learning process. So let's come
Absolutely.
together and be in a common ground and make the world less intimidating around us. So.
All right. Well, that wraps up the second episode of the Next Question Please podcast.
The Wolfmeister.
Midas Mill.
And I'm Simple Sai.
And this wraps up the second episode of the Next Question Please podcast. Peace.
Peace.